What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hopefully, you are having a very magnificent Monday today. It is the start of a new week, first full trading week here in November. We get some time to look at some of the monthly charts, maybe some of these sectors. Actually, we'll probably just do that. Anyways, we will have elections in the U.S. Tuesday night, and then follow that up Wednesday with FOMC Day. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting next 72 hours all the way up until Thursday morning. So buckle in. It's going to be a fun one. Anyways, SPY, not much happened over the weekend. So kind of not much for the market to kind of gap this morning. But yeah, you can see we just kind of had a flat open there compared to where we closed Friday. Nice little drop there first 10 minutes. Nice little bounce off of that. Be interested to see if we're kind of trying to roll over here, possibly, over the past 45 minutes. So we'll see if that happens here over the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. We'll find that out. Qs, a little bit of a gap down. Not really anything big here either. Nice little trade lower. Currently up more than the SPY. SPY is up about 0.1%. Qs are up about 0.2%. So not too much kind of going on. And actually just taking a look at the Qs here, we have a little bit of a higher high over the past 45 minutes. So I would actually be willing to say that we probably will be moving higher as the day kind of goes on compared to the SPY. So there you go. IWM though, look at this move. Woo. Nice little gap down to start the day. Kind of got squirrely there. Got an upper wick first 5 minutes, second 5 minutes lower wick, and then just took off there that first hour. Just absolutely steamed higher. Past 30 minutes or so, not really doing too much, just kind of resting, I guess. But man, that first hour just took off. Currently up a little bit over 1% there. DIA, a little bit of a gap down, not doing too much here. Kind of looks like it wants to roll over. Currently down 1/3%. RSP, nice little gap up, nice trade higher the first hour or so. Currently up about 0.4%, but it has pulled back here over the past 40 minutes or so. Okay. As far as how the daily looks, ooh, yeah. Okay, so we got another, seems like consolidation type day coming in. Let's see what that 100 is at. Yeah, 100, we got a pretty good air pocket in here. So yeah, if we get through this level, obviously we're trying to hold support on that 50 EMA. Could be an interesting day, depending on where we close. Also, I mean, it's so tough right now because we have two major catalysts kind of coming up here over the next 2 days, with elections and FOMC on Wednesday. So, man, it's a tough one. I would say, I don't know if I'd be willing to take any positions before a possible big move. I would just be willing to say, hey, if we break something down, then I'll be looking for the retest and maybe taking it, or breaking out, taking on the retest, going higher. But yeah, I just don't know about trying to get into a position on any kind of consolidation, just for the simple fact of next 2 days is going to be crazy. Yeah, we got that upper wick there that came in on Friday on the DIA, sitting right on top of that 50 EMA currently, looking like it wants to break down. Again, I kind of want to wait. And the IWM, basing off the 50 EMA, nice little bounce today, getting above the 10 and 20 moving averages as well. Okay. The Qs bounced off 50 EMA today. Could just be consolidating in here between these moving averages of the 10 and 20 and the 50. And then we got the SPY, very, very small day today, kind of bouncing off its 50 EMA. Not really doing a whole lot there. All right. So let's just real quick, since we got a monthly close, kind of meant to do this late last week. What does, oh man, my SPY chart's so jacked. We got a nice little upper wick there on a monthly time frame on the SPY. Okay. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. Not like we have a possible engulfing or anything like that. Nothing on the monthly candles that really says like, how that's a pretty big reversal. Now, I will say if for the month of November, if we get below 560 and close the month of November below 560, that would be interesting, because that would look like a nice little evening star reversal pattern. So that would be interesting. Qs, yeah, Qs is an interesting one, right? Because we do have these lower highs compared to what we just saw for the SPY over the past several months with higher highs. So we do have somewhat of, that divergence that we've talked about before, that is now across quarters as well. So not really too much to kind of see there. We also got lower highs across months here on the IWM. We've obviously made some attempts to run back up to these highs that we've had back in July, but we haven't quite done it. It's just been really choppy over the past couple of months, but nothing really to kind of see there either. DIA, we don't really have a perfect engulfing. We got kind of close to back down to where September started, but we didn't get there. So I think right now, if we get November that closes below the open of August or the open of September, I think that would be a much more meaningful signal on a monthly time frame. RSP, yeah, not really doing a whole lot right now, but yeah, you can see it almost got back down to its opening of September as well there for October close. So I would say November is going to be a pretty important month, just because we just saw a lot of upper wicks across a lot of these sectors, a lot of these different market ETFs. As for the VIX, we had a little bit of a higher open to start Monday, but we're trading higher. VIX falling off, not really doing a whole lot. Yeah, I think mostly the music's going to come probably Wednesday, most likely, because we'll probably get a pretty good sense of election results in the U.S., and we're also going to get FOMC day. So Wednesday is going to be a crazy day, but that'd probably be the day. If you're going to pay attention to any day this week, it's probably going to be that day. Dollar DXY, look at that move, dropping off. Wow. Okay, so we had that nice bounce on Friday. Let me take a look in the. So we actually just had a super strong gap down that is not really showing here. Okay, interesting. So we actually gapped down at around the 103.95 area. So 103.95. So basically right on top of that 10 EMA is about where we gapped to. It's kind of where we opened on this trading day, which was open on Sunday. So that's rather interesting. Anyways, dollar index. You see that gap down. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Don't know why it gapped down as much as it did. Anyways, it is a pretty good gap down. Maybe we're just gonna consolidate down here a little bit longer. Maybe people felt like I don't know, felt like they needed to kind of move out of dollars as we go into a pretty important week here for obviously the U.S. with elections and FOMC. It's an interesting one. Take a look at that here over the next couple of days, see what happens. But I don't know if it's really changing anything right now. As far as the GLD Gold Trust, kind of consolidating around top of that 10 EMA. Not really too much kind of going on here. I would still just rather be bullish on any kind of pullbacks. Yeah, same. So, kind of like the DXY here on the 10-year yield, we also have this big gap down as well. So, I would just say dollar and yields are probably not going to be going higher here over the next day or two, maybe even this week, honestly. I mean, they might move a little bit higher, but I wouldn't expect them to be taking out the highs of last week. That gap down kind of just says like, yeah, all these people just got suckered in. So, but we're right on top of that 10 EMA on the 10-year yield. So it doesn't really say, it's not really like, yeah, we're breaking down. I mean, we could definitely break down, but it's also like we just had a really strong October on yields and dollar. So, pulling back a little bit kind of makes sense, honestly. Anyways, 10 and 2 inversion. These also kind of gap down, which is interesting. So not all the yields gap down the same amount. Anyways, not really doing a whole lot. Still just kind of consolidating sideways here the past couple of weeks. As far as bonds, I'm going to be pretty honest. Probably going to have some pretty good gap ups on bonds, right? We just saw the yields had pretty good gap downs. So the HYG had that breakdown second half of last week and didn't quite get to that 100 moving average, but it did gap up. So it's going to have to fight through, obviously, the support and resistance level that it kind of put in here around the 79.1 to 79.2 zone. And if it can do that, then yeah, you're probably going to be looking for a trade higher, but it's also going to have all these moving averages. So I think right now, if you're looking to play HYG, honestly, I kind of might dig it because this might give you that move of multi-day consolidation before we possibly break down again in the future. LQD, possibly the same kind of deal. We might move a little bit higher, have a multi-day consolidation and a breakdown later on. I think that might be what you might be looking for because that was kind of what we had talked about earlier in October about seeing like a multi-day kind of rollover. So if you can get that look here over the next couple weeks, I think you might be willing to take that bearish. But yeah, nice gap ups on bond prices today. I think you're gonna want to see is probably just a move higher. I think we probably will move higher, which means we'll probably see yields drop off a little bit. But I don't think it's gonna be a huge reversal. So we're gonna go back up here on the TLT at least, back up to like 100 or anything like that. Not in my opinion. I mean, that was a pretty good drop off, halfway, second half of September through October there, or at least on the TLT. Alrighty, sector rotation on the day. Utilities dropping off. Financials also underperforming pretty good. Healthcare underperforming. Communications underperforming. Staples kind of in line with the market right now. Industrials, discretionaries outperforming a little bit. Tech, materials, real estate kind of outperforming pretty good. Energy is looking pretty good on the day. And we got, what do we got here? As far as intraday price action, so we got energies that are still leading the day, even on the intraday, so that's looking pretty good. And you got discretionaries also doing pretty good. Real estate, tech, outperforming on the during the day. Industrials slight outperformance during the day. Materials underperforming though. Communications, staples underperforming a little bit there. And you got healthcare, utilities, financials at the lower end of the intraday price action. So real quick, when I just brought up the headlines, I just saw this. Constellation stock plummets after Amazon power deal blocked, and I would be much more willing to probably be getting dip buying on any utilities that probably got hit off of that news, and that's just kind of my opinion. Let me bring up utilities over here. So you can see SEG getting hit pretty good. PEG also getting hit. Vistra getting hit. So those three are probably the much more hit on the nuclear side, because that's what kind of got hit on a potential power deal, right? Is reopening that 3 Mile Island. I believe it was 3 Mile Island, but if it wasn't, it was just some other nuclear reactor. Anyways, that's that's probably not the end of that story. I'm sure that there will probably be like, okay, why can't we do it? What do we need to upgrade? All that kind of stuff. So I think as far as getting in on dip buying opportunity on some of these nuclear utility type companies would be probably really smart.